Trust the button.
How are you doing sports the other week? How was that for you?
It was kind of a nice change of pace, but I really don't want to.
Be a sports person?
Yeah, I was like,
I admire her. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, some of the athletes, how they are. Were you off?
I was off weekend. So yeah, I got there at 8.
Description of the project. Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
Small house. Did you have to go out there when Eric got back?
You guys found the shade. Smart.
Yeah.
You're probably past the point anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I know. So they're after they give them some back.
Probably somebody's on vacation, somebody's sick or something. That's how it works.
Where I live.
Or is that old? Is that Gills? I'm asking someone. Now that you have the sports thing, that's another gig.
Susan loves her coach. Found a couple batteries.
Yeah, no, I brought a bunch of batteries. Yeah, the audio is just not my specialty.
Civic and Convention Center
I have
this
that.
morning. We've seen some of the initial stages of construction
Are you recording?
finally underway, as is the local sentiment. And we really appreciate how far we've come, and I think you'll be very, very surprised over the coming month how much will be added to the construction. We really see this come out of the ground to be the grand symbol of our cultural diversity and recreation here in Fairfield, Iowa. You okay? You all set, Susan? I want to thank the governor for coming this morning, because the programs that the governor has the foresight and the leadership to institute this 2 terms, both the
Testing.
program and Values Fund, have made communities like ours think bigger, and think what is possible and what we can do to revitalize the state and to take care of the great future of our city. Fairfield has been in step with that program from day one. I think we were as excited and as inspired about these programs, and it really aligned with a lot of the thinking that we were undertaking here, envisioning our future. And our vision is to be one of Iowa's model communities, because we understand how important it is. We understand that the state's future and its ability to retain and attract business, young people, and all that is vital to communities is really dependent on the kinds of revitalization efforts that are taking place in our city. In 2002, we undertook a strategic planning process and completed a 10-year strategic plan, which called for the creation of 1,000 new jobs in the economic development area, and to generally develop the full community potential of Fairfield in the area of culture, arts, education, recreation, and the environment. In 2003, we were voted and recognized as the most entrepreneurial community in the country of cities under 10,000. That recognition came from the National Association of Small Communities in cooperation with the Ewing-Kaufman Foundation. In 2004, we were voted Iowa's most entrepreneurial community by the Community Vitality Center, and in 2004 we also learned of our CAT award, part of the Vision Iowa program, of $800,000 towards our $6 million facility. In 2004 we also began our first Convention and Visitors Bureau, and 18 months later we are now hosting tour buses. There's a bus that arrived in town this morning at about 8:30. We had 15 of them booked through the summer, so we're really on our way. A lot of these buses are on mystery tours, so they're seeing Fairfield unexpectedly and for the first time, and leaving thrilled and telling everyone about what they've seen here and looking to come back. In 2005, our featured event monthly, the First Friday's Art Walk, received the Iowa Tourism Event of the Year, and we were very, very proud of that as well. Last year also, we were awarded an Iowa Cultural District designation from the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs, really highlighting and recognizing the cultural tourism that is prominent here in Fairfield. In 2006, we've launched a new economic development and marketing plan for the city, a $200,000 effort over 3 years, again, to support the creation of those 1,000 jobs and to market our city for the quality of life that it represents. We'll also be breaking ground very soon on the state's largest biodiesel plant by PowerShip Biofuels of Iowa, a 60 million gallon annual plant. And then also we are undertaking our downtown streetscape project. As many of you have seen the drawings here, we're very excited about that. A lot of that was initiated just a couple of years ago with the return of the steeple to our Jefferson County Courthouse and the beautiful War Memorial Monument across the road here that was erected just last year. So Fairfield is in step with the kinds of efforts that the governor has put forward within the state. We're very happy to be proud partners of that, and we'd like to take more of a leadership role as the process unfolds. Today we want to congratulate Governor Vilsack for his leadership and for his 2 terms and for all the support that he has shown to Fairfield and Southeast Iowa. Now it is a pleasure to Becky Schmitz. Becky is a candidate for Senate District 45 in November's race. Becky has lived in Fairfield for 27 years. She's retired in last May from 33 years of a social work career, 27 years with the Southern Prairie Area Education Agency. She served as a social worker in school districts in Jefferson, Wapello, and Van Buren counties. She has also been an active partner in her husband's lawn care business, recently launched her own educational consulting and counseling firm. Becky has been active in many community activities, including the Iowa School Social Workers Association, past president of the Southern Prairie Education Association, member of the Chamber of Commerce, treasurer of the Fairfield Cultural Alliance, Girl Scout troop leader for 8 years, and has worked as an adjunct professor for Indian Hills Community College for 12 years. It is my pleasure now to introduce Becky Schmitz to make some remarks to us as well. Becky?
Thank you. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here this morning and to be here with Mayor Malloy and Governor Vilsack and to help support all of their efforts to improve the community. As Ed mentioned, I am Becky Schmitz and I'm running for State Senate from District 45 because I want to improve the lives of Iowans in this district. Fairfield already has a reputation of an artistic hub through our First Fridays Art Walk, and the Civic Center will definitely increase the opportunities to showcase our local talents and to bring talents in from other communities, and continuing to increase our cultural richness. When I have been out knocking doors in the community, I've met several newcomers to Iowa who have said that they were attracted to the community because of the wide variety of art, music, and dance in the community. I understand that creating jobs in rural Iowa is not just a matter of new development, but also redevelopment. The efforts of community groups, community leaders, and elected officials to work together, band together, and work on the assets the communities already have is a good example of what's happened with the Civic Center. I was also involved in helping designate Fairfield as the cultural district that Mayor Malloy mentioned through my work on the Fairfield Cultural Alliance. We are now working with local business owners to try to capitalize on that status and to help them support revitalization of the whole downtown area, another way that we can create more jobs in Iowa. And I want to share those experiences that I had through that process with other communities throughout the 45th District. We also need to look at other ways to improve Iowa's economy through Iowa-grown products. We can't afford to let our communities fall behind when we have so many rich resources available to us. I'm running for State Senate because I want to help Iowa communities move forward by supporting and giving incentives to Iowa-grown businesses and Iowa products such as ethanol. Iowa-grown fuel is definitely the future for Iowa farmers and for Iowa's economy. I support giving incentives to Iowa gas stations for every gallon of Iowa-grown gas that's sold and for all the pumps that are converted to E85. We also need a plan to increase the amount of Iowa-grown fuels used in Iowa, and we can get that up to 1 billion gallons in the next 10 years. So this is the future that we're looking for. When I have been out in the community talking to voters, economic development and the concerns about that are foremost in their minds. We need the communities to elect state senators who are willing to take the bold steps to improve Iowa's economy. And I plan to work together, continue listening to you, and working as a team effort to help Iowa grow as representing you in the state Senate. It is definitely my privilege to introduce Governor Vilsack, who for the last 8 years has provided vital leadership to economic development throughout the state, and we're thrilled to have him here to share his vision for Iowa. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks very much, folks. Thank you very much. It's great to be back to Fairfield. I was here actually on Memorial Day. We were working on the Habitat for Humanity home not too far from this area as a memorial to my brother-in-law who passed away in Memorial Day 10 years ago. We wanted to do a service learning project, and we had this opportunity to work on the Habitat for Humanity home. And Mayor, it was interesting because I had a chance after that to go out to Eco Village, and I've actually been talking about that. I was in Texas not too long ago talking about the Eco Village. What a tremendous opportunity it is for us to learn about appropriate uses of wind, solar, and alternative energy sources as a way of making Fairfield, Iowa, and the United States less dependent and ultimately independent of foreign oil. Tremendous opportunity, and I know, Representative Whitaker, I know that you've been working on that in your time in the Iowa House, and I appreciate you being here today, and your leadership on renewable fuels. And Becky, I really do appreciate your comments about the necessity of us continuing to expand and to build on the foundation that we have built here in the state of Iowa in renewable energy and renewable fuel. Fairfield is an energetic community. I mean, if I think about Fairfield, I think about energy. Not just the biodiesel type, but the creative energies that are so important to the future of our state and our country. In fact, I was just talking to a reporter in Washington, D.C. on my way here. He asked me where I was. I told him I was in Fairfield. I told him that this was a community that understood the power of creativity and how important it was for the future of Iowa and for the future of our nation that we become a more creative nation and a more creative people. How we have to stress creativity in education and how we have to utilize it as an economic development tool. And Mayor, I don't know of another community in the state of Iowa that's done a better job of that recently than the community of Fairfield. And the mayor was very gracious in comments about the direction of the state, but you need to know that your mayor was very much involved in crafting the plan for the 2010 committee that was commissioned right after I was elected in 1998. It was Mayor Malloy and others who developed a plan for the state of Iowa that suggested we needed to do more in renewable fuels and energy, that we needed to do more in creating acceptance of diversity, that we needed to do more to be accepting of cultural diversity. And he has not only provided this plan for the state of Iowa, but he's also obviously provided leadership here in the local community. I want to speak for just a minute about the direction of the state and the foundation that's been built. As I traveled down here today, it occurred to me that the landscape of our state is changing every day. The mayor talked about a new biodiesel facility being constructed here. Becky talked about ethanol. The reality is that we've seen a dramatic increase in the number of renewable fuel facilities in our state. Today, there are over 25 ethanol production facilities in operation. There are another 7 that are under construction, and another 9 that are being planned to be constructed in the very near future. By the end of this year, those facilities will produce 1.5 billion gallons of ethanol product, which will make Iowa the #1 ethanol producer in the nation. We are also the #1 producer of soy diesel or biodiesel fuel. And as this Fairfield plant gets on board, and as we can continue to expand those facilities across the state, we'll continue to have a leadership role. The Eco Village reminded me of the fact that we are also #1 in wind energy per capita. Now 747 wind turbines producing enough electricity to provide power for 167,000 homes across the state, and that's just going to continue to expand. The 2010 committee and myself challenged the state to put 1,000 megawatts of renewable fuel into the grid. In the course of the next 10 years, we'll meet that goal and exceed that goal sometime in 2007. So we are well on our way to being renewable fuel and energy capital. These developments were spurred in part by the Iowa Values Fund. The Values Fund, when it was created, there were only 50 companies, 50 companies interested in locating or expanding operations in the state of Iowa, 50. Today, there are over 400 businesses that have expressed an interest in locating or expanding in the state, and that does not include the 318 businesses that have received assistance from the Values Fund. So we went from 50 to over 700. The businesses that have already committed will retain over 24,000 jobs that will pay substantially higher wages than jobs that are generally created in the economy. We're already beginning to see the dividends from our investment in the Values Fund. Over $4 billion of construction activity will take place. And the 24,000 jobs do not include the construction jobs from building $4.4 billion worth of new facilities. The Values Fund is a good companion to the Vision Iowa Community Attractions and Tourism Program, which is what we celebrate here. There, the state has invested close to $300 million. It's leveraged over $2 billion of projects, 230 projects across 90 counties, creating construction jobs and expanding dramatically culture and recreation. Those two programs and what we've done in energy are one of the reasons why the state of Iowa now has a record number of people employed. Never before have we had this many people employed. It's also one of the reasons why the state of Iowa is ranked in the top quarter states in per capita income growth in the last 5 years. A USA Today survey last month listed all 50 states. Iowa ranked 12th in the country over the last 5 years in per capita income growth. It's also one of the reasons why our state has seen population growth. You might not know that. You might not understand that from what you read in the papers. But the reality is we've had population growth in this state for 18 consecutive years. It is the longest streak of population growth the state has seen since they began keeping track of records in 1900 in terms of population. So more jobs, higher incomes, more people in our state. We want to make sure that we continue this forward momentum. That means that we need to have folks who are willing to continue to invest in culture, willing to continue to invest in renewable energy, willing to invest in cutting-edge industries, advanced manufacturing, insurance and financial services, and in the life sciences. Continuing to invest as you have here. It is somewhat nostalgic that I stand here looking at the courthouse because I spent some of my early years as a lawyer in that courthouse and have some fond memories and some not so fond memories in some cases I tried there. And I've always appreciated Fairfield, except on Friday nights. It's the only time in the fall. I don't appreciate Fairfield on Friday nights in the fall, but you'll understand why. I come from Mount Pleasant. We've had a couple tough losses over here. One in which I remember my son playing in, which I'll never forget. In fact, I was over in Iraq. And I was visiting with the soldiers over there. And a young man came up to me and he said, "You're from Mount Pleasant?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm from Fairfield." He said, "You had a son who played quarterback?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I remember that game. We beat you." I said, "Son, so do I." He's a very brave young man being over there. So we've built a foundation. We've changed the landscape. You're changing the landscape of Fairfield with this project. We need to continue to do this. Becky's pledged to continue to do it. The mayor's pledged to continue to do it. I know Representative Whitaker is interested in doing it. So it's important for us to continue this forward progress because the state's headed in the right direction. We don't want to take a step back. And so I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm thrilled with this project. I look forward to returning when you open in 2007. I understand that there are some very exciting opportunities that may be forthcoming to Fairfield as a result of having this facility. And I'm sure that you're going to bring a lot of folks into Southeast Iowa to enjoy the arts. So congratulations, and I look forward to further progress.
I neglected to thank also our Civic and Convention Center Board, the members that are here today. They are true heroes of our community for getting this project underway with so many volunteer hours, and we're very, very appreciative of the Schaus Voorhees construction team for preparing the site for us today and getting us ready, and really proud of the fact that they are our designated contractor for this project, and we're all behind you, and we look forward to it going up. Again, I want to thank the governor. I know that there's probably a short time left that he has meaningful things to do in this office, but I consider this a high honor to have him in Fairfield today to really get a glimpse of where we are as a community as a reflection of a background that he and his administration created over the last 8 years. So again, I thank him for that, and thank you all for attending today.
Thanks again. I'll just go over here and just take questions in case. Now, if you look at that 2010 report, a large part of